it. We know what this is all about. We're talking about rings. We're talking about championships. We're talking about New York. How confident are you that your New York Knicks can win it all?
Molly, I'm not going to go higher than 40%. But stay with me, y'all. Stay with me. I want to make sure, I want to see Marcus and Shannon when I'm talking about this, fellas. Put them up. I got the orange and blue skies. We ain't going nowhere. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. The Indiana Pacers scared the living hell out of me. They ain't going to miss shots like Boston did. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. They're going to make shots, and the New York Knicks are going to have to be better offensively in order to beat the Indiana Pacers. I'm picking the Knicks to win this series. Make no mistake about that. But because I don't think back-to-back years in a Game 7 they going down at the Garden. I refuse to believe that. But I think this series is going to go 7 games. Indiana should scare people for another reason. They've said nothing. All this noise that New York has been making. Have you noticed how quiet the Indiana Pacers have been? This is not what they usually do. But you know what? They know what they can do. They know how lethal and how big time they can be. And I think they're going to be ready, and this is going to be an epic series. But the Garden is the Garden, as Shanae pointed out. There is a different flavor, a different vibe that forces the opposition at times to shrink, okay? And I believe that that is what is going to happen in this series when it counts most. And then if I have my druthers, I'm not picking the series yet, but I'm just telling you what I would fantasize about. I'm not going to even say the team. Ant-Man at the Garden with a championship on the line. I believe Anthony Edwards to be Jordan-esque. Not Jordan, but Jordan-esque. How he plays, the vibe and the fervor with which he brings to the game, the athleticism, the shot, leading three-point shooter in basketball. When you talk about box office, the Garden is one thing. And OKC, I'm looking forward to going out to OKC, and that fan base is going to be rabid and loud, and I get all of that. But the Garden?
You tipped us off to who you want, Stephen A. I know you wanted to keep it a secret, but I think we're picking up what you're putting down.
But Ant-Man,
we know.
At the Garden, oh my Lord.
Stephen A., so you give your Knicks a 40% chance. 40% but my question is, this is the most important question. Where is your anxiety? Because last week it was at an 8 out of 10. Hopefully we're at like a 5.
Yeah, we're about 5.
Good. Okay, good.
Was that before the first game, or that's just where you're starting at right now?
That was him.
That's where I'm starting at right now. Hold on, whoa.
You're at 5.
In case you didn't know, it's fluid. You know what I'm saying? It's at a 5 now. It could go up or it could go down. But as of right now, it's fluid. It's at a 5.
When's the game? Is it Wednesday?
Yeah.
It'll be back at 8 by Wednesday. It'll be back.
Sure.
Look, I agree with you, Stephen A. Like, the Pacers are, by the eye test, probably one of the scariest teams because they have the best offense right now of the remaining playoff teams. They're clicking on all cylinders. And also, we just witnessed a postseason where Tyrese Halliburton, he's on one. He's literally on one. I know we know the song, like, what the hell, all that type of stuff. Yeah. Like, you're in the song because you've got it going on. And if you saw him in isolation, clutch time down the stretch, he's not afraid of the moment. He actually likes to slay giants, too. We saw him take down, Giannis with that isolation one-on-one. We saw what he was able to do late in game versus the Cavs once again. You see him get to the rim. You see him knock down threes. Even in games where his shot is not necessarily falling, when he has the ball in his hands with a chance to win, that is a very, very scary sight, which is why I'm excited to see what he does in the Garden. But overall, this team, like you said, their supporting cast, it's almost like they elevate. Since January 1, I think they've had a similar record to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like, that's how good, that's how well they have been balling. So I'm looking at the Pacers. I'm not surprised if people take the Pacers in this series. I do think in the playoffs, the game slows down. It's a little bit more of a grind. I think the Knicks, they're graduating. I still have the Knicks in 6 because I saw what that did for me, last week. But it will not be easy. It could easily go to 7.
Yeah, they're favored, -155. Marcus, where are you on this?
I'm definitely leaning towards the Knicks, but I got to go back to what S.A. said in the beginning about, like, just flying under the radar. Like, the Pacers have, like, even to beat the Milwaukee Bucks without Dame is really hard because you still have to control Giannis, right? And then to actually get out of the series with Cleveland. I thought that was very impressive. Like, I had Cleveland going to the Eastern Conference Finals from the beginning of the year, from the trade deadline when they got DeAndre Hunter. I thought that would really change the dynamic of this team and get them over the hump. What Indiana did was very impressive. I got to give it to the team aspect of, like, moving the ball, everybody buying into the system. Like, I love seeing that, right, where guys can just elevate their game in a certain system that is not, like, predicated to just one or two players. Like, this is a system, and Tyrese Haliburton is the best catalyst you can have to holding the ball, having the ball down, up, moving it around, getting guys with way more confidence, playing to another level. Like, I love what he's doing in Indiana, and, like, just the swagger of Indiana. Like, I would love to be on a team where everybody's counting us out. Like, we have nothing to lose. I feel like they're playing with house money, and they're doing a really good job.
You think everyone's counting?
Well, hold on. That's where I want to go.
Okay.
Almost certain.
I don't think they're being counted out. I don't think they're being
under
counted
the radar.
out.
I wouldn't say counted out, but I
Right.
don't think that a lot of people have Indiana winning this series. Like, if you would put this on paper and you push it ahead and you say Indiana Knicks,
People would probably say based off of the paper and the eye test with how they performed, it's the Pacers.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Think so?
And the reason I went, like, we've just starting to see a different, like, level of Hollenberg as far as, like, being an ISO scorer at the end of the games and being able to put the games away. Like, Jalen Brunson is the guy, right? Like, he's been doing that the entire season. And in these playoffs and going down to the wire, you need to have a guy that can get it from 3 different levels. And he's probably the only guy in this series that can go to 3 different levels and get a bucket.
Well, let me help.
When it's
really quick, Stephen A., my question then is, based off of what they were able to do in a short amount of time, do you think their team is probably playing better versus the Knicks they still have a potential to reach? Because I think the Knicks have another level if they get a consistent Karl Anthony Towns, if OG Anunoby is not going from 0 and 6 points to 20. Like, if they reach that potential, they're there. I think the Pacers are already playing peak.
Jack, and that's the part, like, the Knicks still can play better, and that's the scary part. Like, that's why I'm like, that's why I got the Knicks in. I don't know when. I don't know what game I have the Knicks in. I don't know when they're gonna win it, but I still go down to being able to have a guy that can get a bucket from all 3 levels when it's time to get one.
Stephen A., are you Knicks too?
Let me help. No, 7. Let me help you out here. Let me help you out here. First of all, nobody's underestimating the Indiana Pacers. What we're doing, Marcus, is revealing our preference. Folks would rather be in New York than Indiana. That's what that's about, okay? We all know that the Indiana Pacers have a very legitimate shot. This is a 50-50 series right here. And let me tell you why. One of the biggest elements, you can look at a guy like Miles Turner and others, and you see their depth as well, right? You see cats that can step away from the basket and shoot jump shots, all right? So that helps. Then you've got bench production. Indiana's bench in this postseason has been producing at nearly 36 points per game. The New York Knicks are at 14. And so now because of that, their depth and the discrepancy that I just highlighted puts Indiana at an advantage, because you do find yourself wondering, okay, that's starting 5, and then Tibbs is willing to go 7 deep if he has to, of course, with Mitchell Robinson, and to a lesser degree McBride, but pretty much nobody else. And when you look at Indiana, they got cats all over the place. It's Nembhard 1 minute, all right? It's Neesmith another. It's Haliburton. It's Turner. It's Mathurin. I mean, you're looking at a bunch of